Hello, and welcome to the Nora Project's first ever virtual training camp event. The 2019-2020 school year wasn't what anyone expected, and the future still looks uncertain in many of our partner schools. We know this is a very challenging time for everyone. We hope that this virtual opportunity to come together for the purpose of learning makes you feel excited and proud to be a part of the Nora Project family. We are thrilled to learn together with you this month. We want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. We have some returning for their third or fourth year of participation and others who are brand new to the Nora Project. We want to thank each and every one of you for prioritizing inclusive practices in your schools and bringing this important content to your students. We wouldn't be able to offer you this incredible learning opportunity without the generosity of our sponsors. Now I'd like to introduce you to the people behind the Nora Project. Our program team is run by Katie Patella. If you're new to the Nora Project this year, you probably remember Katie from the recruiting and enrollment process. She also oversees all of our curriculum development and professional development. Courtney Adams is our Director of Life Cycle and Community Programming. She is also the dedicated program director for our Primer Pack and Sympathy Club programs and is the primary point of contact for participants in those programs. Emily Papa is our Director of Flagship Programming, overseeing our Storyteller Project. Storyteller Project participants, Emily will be your primary point of contact moving forward. Dr. Janie Avant is our Inclusion Specialist. She works hard to ensure our programs are appropriate for all learners, and she's available to all of our school partners for support and assistance as they implement our programs. Our administrative team is run by me, Lauren Schreiro, but better known as Nora's mom. Working with me are Rebecca Kuntz, our administrative coordinator, who supports our fundraising and development efforts, serves as a volunteer coordinator, and runs the back end of our new blog, Nora Notes. And also Maria Childs, our Director of Marketing and Communications. Maria keeps our social media platforms up and running, and she organizes our newsletters. Growing up, I attended public schools, as I'm sure many of you did. I learned about the Holocaust and the importance of religious tolerance. I learned about civil rights and the scourge of racism. I learned about immigration and feminism and global poverty and the LGBTQ rights movement. I learned about a lot of things that came to matter to me a great deal, but no one ever talked to me about disability. So everything I learned about disability, I learned by inference. For example, I inferred from the fact that no one ever talked about disability that it was something shameful. And I observed that children with disabilities weren't taught in my classroom, so I inferred they didn't belong there. I never had children with disabilities in my dance classes or theater productions or on my sports teams, so I inferred they couldn't participate. I observed that children with disabilities were surrounded by adults, so I believed they couldn't really be friends with other children. In short, I inferred from my life experience that children with disabilities were very different from me, that they weren't really a part of my community. And frankly, I grew up hardly caring about disability at all. To the extent I gave it any thought, I thought disability was sad, a problem, even a little scary. So imagine my surprise when my 9-month-old daughter was diagnosed with multiple physical and intellectual disabilities. Of course, it didn't take long for me to realize that everything I'd ever inferred about disability was totally wrong. My daughter was neither sad nor a problem, and she certainly was not scary. She was fully capable of learning and of friendship, and like all children, she brought joy to everyone she encountered. She needed help with things, sure, but almost none of the support she required was so complex that her slightly older cousins and even her same-age friends couldn't lend a hand after a while. She was a full and complete person who deserved all of the opportunities and wonders life has to offer all people. And like a flash of lightning, it occurred to me, if Nora's peers were going to know the things I now knew, someone was going to have to teach them, or else they'd be left to draw the same wrong inferences I drew growing up. Together with my cousin, who at the time was a 5th grade teacher, I co-founded the Nora Project to do just that. To start a conversation about disability in classrooms that is long overdue. I'm very proud that the Nora Project now provides training and curriculum to hundreds of teachers so they can teach thousands of students about disability and facilitate meaningful inclusion in their schools and communities.
Every year, our training camp has a theme that guides our learning. We had planned to focus on equity this year, as a great deal of our program revisions have involved creating multiple access points to curriculum for all learners and ensuring every student is fully included and engaged in all aspects of the learning. We still believe in the fundamental principles of equity, and you'll see that commitment in your program trainings as you review our improved materials. Still, given current events and the momentum for widespread change and reform, we've decided to make a last-minute pivot. This training camp will be focused on allyship. An ally is any person that actively promotes and aspires to advance the culture of inclusion through intentional, positive, and conscious efforts that benefit people as a whole. You cannot simply call yourself an ally to become one. You must dig in, show up, do the work, and be recognized by those within the community you seek to support. As a Nora Project family, it is our mission not only to be aspiring allies to and advocates for people with disabilities, though of course that is our primary mission, but also to give students the tools they need to be aspiring allies to all marginalized, oppressed, and misunderstood communities. The lessons of the Nora Project: empathy, friendship, demystifying and embracing differences, understanding and challenging the lenses through which we see the world, being compassionately curious about one another's stories, devising innovative ways to improve our environments so that everyone feels like they belong. These lessons apply across categories of identity and diversity. We want to use this moment, this month of Nora Project training, to connect the materials in our curriculums to the greater calling of the moment at hand. And we have just the lineup to do it. We are so proud to welcome viral TED Talker and CEO of Kids Included Together, Tori Dunlap, as our keynote speaker. Tori will talk to you about the dominant cultural models of disability and how we are all influenced by the lens through which we choose to see. Tori, along with our friends from Aspire Chicago and Teaching is Intellectual, will be offering breakout sessions on creating inclusive classroom communities, examining personal bias and privilege, and strategies for co-teaching that reflect a belief in the worthiness and rights of all learners. We are also proud to host a panel of distinguished adults with disabilities who will share their ideas about what allyship should look like in schools and in the world. They'll join together for a panel discussion as well. Welcome to award-winning musician and disability rights advocate Galen Lee, Stanford computer science major Trisha Kulkarni, high schooler, blogger, and recently featured change maker in the Chicago Tribune, Mitchell Robbins, and painter, rapper, and Renaissance man, James Kanzler. And as a fantastic last-minute addition to the lineup, we're thrilled and honored to introduce you to our friends at Conscious Roots. Conscious Roots will host a live 2-hour session digging deep into the intersection of race and disability and what it means to show up as an aspiring ally. They'll dissect what allyship means and what it takes to be an active ally to marginalized and oppressed communities. They'll suggest actions you can take to show up in a more thoughtful and active way. As you navigate the training camp modules in Google Classroom, please use the checklist located in the classwork section as a way to keep track of any required trainings you'll be responsible for completing. If you're a leader of any TMP programs in your school, there are specific trainings that are considered mandatory.
And if you have any questions at all during training camp, please direct them to Katie. She could assist you with the technology, the content, and any questions you have about what you are expected to complete. Last but not least, we want you to share your training camp stories with us. As you work through the materials, please drop us a line in one of several ways. Call and leave us a voicemail or text us at 513-454-7420. Email us a note or send a voice note to info@thenoraproject.ngo. Post a video on our Flipgrid page, or post on social media with the hashtag TNPTrainingCamp. We can't wait to hear how training camp is going for you, what you've learned, or why you love the Nora Project and its mission of teaching empathy and sparking friendships between students and their peers with disabilities. Have fun, and thank you for being with us.